welcome back to another episode of Living Local Lombard. I'm your host, Aaron Carlson, and joining me today is Keith Gianorio, owner and founder of Gianorio's Pizza on Main Street. Gianorio's recently celebrated their 26-year anniversary, so they're just ahead of me in age, and that is a testament to what good service, quality, and taste and an ability to keep local customers coming back really can do for a small business. So Keith, it is my privilege to have you, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's my privilege for being here.
So first and foremost, I'll ask the toughest question first. Tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, where you grew up, and what you're doing today.
Well, I'm 58 years old. Been married for over 30 years to my wife, Angela. Both of us born and raised in Villa Park, right next door. Both of us went to Willowbrook High School where we met. We got married, found a house here in Lombard, started a family. I have two kids, a son and a daughter. My son's still involved with the pizza business. My daughter moved over to Nashville with her husband. She loves it there. And we really just fell in love with Lombard. Well, obviously, always knew about it, but we always had an idea. Maybe we'll move over to Lombard and see how we like it over there. It's so far so good over 30 years.
So let's talk about 26 years ago when the pizza shop was born. Tell us a little bit about the founding story. How did you come up with the idea? Why did you start a pizza shop? All that fun stuff.
Okay, well, originally I started out in Glendale Heights. That was back in 1985. So that really is where I want to always say that in Glendale Heights is where I learned all the mistakes of what not to make in Lombard. So we delivered about 90% of our business was delivery there. We were on the corner of Army Trail, Bloomingdale Road. And if anybody knows that corner, it is busy, dangerous, and to deliver out of that corner was absolute insanity. But that shop was great, and it was really where I learned everything you wanted to know, plus some about the pizza shop, from working with a staff, working with drivers, everything, because I came right out of Elmhurst University now, and really had no clue of the pizza business. Kind of learned on the fly, but that's where it all started. I got some offers on a group of guys who were trying to get a group of pizzerias together. They gave me an offer. I walked away, and we're living in Lombard, and I looked around and I had all my neighbors saying, Keith, they really could use a good pizza shop, another good pizza shop. I never want to knock the competition. So literally I took the summer off and opened up where we're at now. And I tweaked things a little bit where I said, the delivery was driving me crazy. It was such a hassle that let's try it without delivering, because it's hard to eliminate delivery once you do it. It's easier to add it if you didn't have it. So we went this first 6 months and and then a year, and then 3 years, and then now 26 years. So I don't think we're gonna ever go to that anytime soon.
You still don't deliver, right?
No, we don't deliver. We do special ones like we will larger catering orders. We'll drop the food off, but everyday orders, we just
don't. Yeah. So what was the motivation and inspiration behind opening a pizza shop? Why pizza?
Well, we felt like at that time back then, it was it's still a pretty hot item, but it was very hot at the time. And we were just like, well, maybe this is something I can do. I was just out of college, kind of trying to find my way. Things were changing at that time. So we kind of fell into it. And I always felt like I could do this on the side while I go start a career at something. And then it just turned out where the place became the career. So here I am.
Let me see. So talk about your pizza specifically. Is it unique comparatively? Do you make it differently? Do you use like fresh ingredients? What differentiates you from the competition?
Right. Well, I've never seen a commercial for a pizzeria or talked to another pizza shop owner who will tell you, oh, our ingredients are the freshest and this. So to be cliche, I guess, yes, ours are fresh. I would say not only with our recipes as far as the dough and the pizza sauce and the pasta sauce, truly, and I'm not just saying this, and is your staff. Your staff has to be top of the line, and your staff has to have bought into what your business is all about.
Yeah.
You don't want to have staff in a family-owned business like ours that you're just hiring every week, in and
Hmm.
out. It's rotating door of employees. We, that's really what I feel is one of the keys to longevity, success. Yes, you have to have an outstanding product. That's a given. But you also have to have that staff there to implement it, care about it. And I'll tell you, I've had been blessed where longevity of some of our staff, and in the pizza business, longevity sometimes is 4 weeks, and
Yeah.
we have some that are year after year after year, which is awesome. But they bought into it. They care. I always tell them, you make the food the way you would want it if you came and picked it. There, we don't have like, oh, you got to do no. And so they do have some leeway. Obviously, we have weight standards and that, but I really, really, when I was looking over your questions, I was trying to think, yeah, it is the product. I'm not just bragging, but I'm proud of it, and I feel it's very good, and I'd put it up against anybody. But also those people behind the scenes that are putting it together, are cooking, that's really a huge key to it.
Yeah. Well, that is one of my questions is, what is it like to be a team member at the shop? Because personally, I can attest to, the dozens or hundreds of times I've ordered pizza from you guys. You have to go to the shop, you have to go in. There are other people from the community there, and there is a whole team hustling and bustling. And
Right.
there is a weird, like, I wouldn't call it like a Disney World energy, but there is a unique like feeling in the shop of
Right.
family and community, and everybody is coming and like bonding around this product and this team. um
It's very cool. It's we've been there now so long that we have people working the front that couldn't see over the counter when their parents were picking up pizzas when they were kids. So that's kind of cool. The one constant is, the old man there standing in the back. That's
uh-huh.
myself. But you're right. And I mean, if you really wanted to get that feeling, you come in the shop about 3:30 on a Friday when the whole staff's getting ready. The phone is just starting to ring, and you can feel everybody, and it's like, okay, it's kind of like when you're on the runway and you're about to take
Uh-huh.
off. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's exciting. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I've noticed it now more and more as I'm getting older, I think. But it's something that's truly there. It's neat.
So let's talk about the shop and your team this year with COVID-19. How has it impacted you guys, both from a business perspective and from, how you're operating and, how you're doing things, especially since you do have a larger team and, there is so much focus on being there physically.
Right, right. It's been a whole new education, not only for myself but for everybody. The basics of washing your hands, watching how you sneeze and that. That's something that when you're in the food business, that's already second nature.
Hmm.
Oh, that wasn't so much of a difference. The biggest thing was the spacing. We have, on the weekend, 4 pizza that are really right next to each other.
Yeah.
And to try to teach them, hey, make that as quick as you can, and obviously wear your mask and things like that. So it has been different, definitely been different. People still come in and pay, although we do have a lot of customers now where they give the credit card over the phone, we run the food out to their car, which I completely get it. But it's definitely, it's different. That's for sure. Doing anything with a mask on is different for everybody,
Mhm.
but we've gotten used to it. We know what the protocols are. We've been blessed that shop hasn't been hit by anything. We are very precautious. You have a headache, you have a fever, you have even a doubt, to stay home.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. If we have to add an extra half hour on wait time, so be it. So I think that's the biggest thing. You just have to be, conscientious of what's going on. Don't, it's real. Don't pretend that it's not. And, hopefully we can get beyond it.
Yeah. Where do you see your business and the larger community going, next year, in terms of coming out of this and, getting a sense of community and belonging again?
I think the biggest thing is going to be when all of this settles, when you can legitimately get back, not just trickles of, 25%, when we can get back and see who's there. I mean, I feel every day when I go by and I see restaurants shut down or abandoned or boarded up, I pray that they come back.
Hmm.
This is something where, we need everyone to come back. And hopefully we will. And I think to get a positive out of this whole COVID pandemic is there will be things in place that maybe should have been put in place 5 years ago that are, not barriers, but they're there to help protect. And that's a positive I truly believe is going to come out of it. I just hope that our restaurants, hold on. I know there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Just hold on a little bit longer, and hopefully, I feel that you'll see a nice bounce back. And there is still going to be some caution, some fear, and I get that. You can see that now with the vaccines being rolled out. People are like, "Wait a minute, I don't want to take that." I don't. And I get that. We need to get on that road of recovery. So, I pray all the time that everybody is still healthy, but still healthy enough to bounce back with our rest.
Yeah. And moving forward, as this year has wiped out a lot of small businesses, and really kind of made people, I've talked about this in some of my other interviews. People have really been pushed this year emotionally and physically, to a place of disconnection and a place where, a lot of people don't feel emotionally connected to their community, where they are, their friends, their daily like rituals and routines that they have. And I personally think that like shopping locally, whether you're supporting a small store or a family-run restaurant, uh, it's really important not only to the local economy but to everything else that makes a neighborhood and a town what it is. Um, why do you feel it is so important to shop and dine and support, the folks that are running the business and working in the businesses in our town?
A lot of it, all, you have to look at it as, one hand feeds the other. As long as, what we're putting into Lombard is what we're going to get out as a community. I think you touched on it perfectly when you go out to a shop. Now, granted, it's a little bit difficult now. You do run into neighbors, and you do learn things. You do learn things about people's family, and if the pandemic did one thing was really shut the door on that social interaction, which that's what I hope the first thing we can get back to is seeing, talking to each other, interacting. But shopping local, I just find it interesting. You can hear the different stories. You run into neighbors. Hey, have you tried this? Bricks just put this on. Stramboli with this, or Dana and Steve just put this on their menu over at Babcock's.
Yep.
Soup of the day over at Paul's and Shannon's. I mean, you could just rattle them all off. but that's the way it works, you
Yeah.
know, and that's luckily that's how Lombard is. I mean, that's how we've stayed in with.
Yeah. All right. Last question for you, and this is the most important one.
Uh-oh.
It's a two-parter. What is your most popular item that you sell, and what is your favorite item to eat?
Our our most popular, you know, probably just a regular thin crust pizza. Um, I'm not just saying this, but our pans, our stuffs, our double doughs, our extra are all very good. But probably the most popular every day, um, regular thin crust. Very popular two items is our lasagna, which is handmade, made. You know,
Oh,
we don't buy it in a sheet, frozen, and throw it in the freezer for a month. We literally, depending on how busy we are, we're constantly making. That's very popular. And my mom's recipe from my grandma, her meatballs, probably
mm,
one of our most popular.
yeah.
They
I
are
feel
very good. I've eaten,
that. Yeah,
I've
it's the
eaten
best.
hundreds, if not thousands of them in my life.
All right.
It shows.
Oh my gosh. Tell folks how they can, see your menu and order some food from you.
Okay, well, it's Gianorios.com. And for old timers like me, it's 630-495-9000. We are not open on Sundays, although we do keep getting calls about that. And that, thank God, came from my kids who decided, hey, you've been doing this a long time. We don't want to be in there on Sundays. Why don't you take Sundays off? And actually, when we started it, it was a little rough for me to get used to, but the staff really appreciated it, and it's glorious. We spend a lot of time with, our Sundays. So we're not there on Sundays, but we open at 3 o'clock during the week, and on Friday and Saturday at 2 o'clock. And we'd love to hear from everyone.
Awesome. Well, Keith, thank you so very much. I hope you've had a good 26-year run. Maybe we will have 26 more of your
I hope
pizza
so.
grace in our town.
Well,
All
this
right.
was very nice, and thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on.